Welcome everybody, I'm Marsha, also known as Fairy Little on all of the social media. Today we're going to talk about some knitting and a little bit of things that have been going on with my channel that you may have noticed. If you are interested in the knitting stuff, that's what we're doing today. So if you're new here, welcome, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the thumbs up. And if you are a returning guest, welcome, welcome, welcome. Grab your drink, grab your knitting, and let's have a chat. One thing you may have noticed about my channel is that there is additional uploads happening. I'm trying to make them happen on Mondays, and they're going to run the gamut of other. So I am hoping to do a quilt before Christmas, so I'm going to put that on my Mondays, and I also just uploaded a room cleanup, and that was on Monday. And I am going to keep the knitting stuff for Thursday. So the podcast will be on Thursday, and all the additional things will be on Monday, so that you'll know which day to tune in. And if you're interested in all of it, then you can tune in both days. And if you're interested in just the knitting, then Thursdays is your deal. And if you're not interested in the knitting, but you're interested in everything else in my weird little life, then that would be on Monday. So things are expanding and changing, and I'm really excited about it, and I hope that I am able to keep that up. That is my goal. So thanks for joining me on this journey, you guys. So let's hop right into the knitting. I have some FOs, a work in progress, a couple works in progress, but you'll see. There's an FO with a work in progress on it. So let's just dive on it. So I'm going to start with a work in progress that was an FO. And the reason it's a work in progress, it is called the Calaloche Pants, and they're by Andrea Rangel. The yarn I used was Lornas Laces in Pewter. There you go. And I knit these legging pants 2018. I want to say, I think I started them, early 2018 I started them, or 2017. I knit them because my friend Carla, who is K-Ray from the Relentless Knitting podcast, she asked me if I wanted to do swants with her. And at that point, I didn't know what swants were. And they're knitted pants, which she told me they were knitted pants. So I thought it was actually knitting pants and not taking a sweater and turning it into pants, which is what she did, which was super easy. But I found a pattern for knitted pants and I made knitted pants. So that's how these came about. They have cables in them. They're very comfortable. They're really cozy. They are a little bit see-through, so you do have to wear something under them. I don't know if you can see my hand there. Yeah, a little bit see-through. So you want to wear something underneath of them to prevent, the visual of your underwear. And they have an elastic waistband inside them, which is really cool. They are not, with my body shape right now, they are not super flattering on my behind. So long shirts or dresses over top of them, perfect. And then actually, if you do that, then you don't have to wear something under it. But when I was knitting them, I got to one cable and I was like, I am out of stitch. And I kept going back and back and back and couldn't figure out how I was out the stitch. So I added a stitch in and then knit, and turned out wonderfully. Until I found that I actually dropped a stitch, and I'm holding it together there. There's two, it's the stitch that I dropped and the stitch that I created need to be put together into one. So I haven't worn them because I found that error, and so I just have to join it together. And I was thinking I might do a little video on that, but the thing is it's dark yarn and it's a little bit difficult to see. And there's so many people who watch YouTube videos that any excuse for a complaint, they're there. So I don't know if I'm going to do a video tutorial on how to fix that because it is dark yarn and somebody's going to be like, oh, it's hard to see. It's dark yarn. Can't you do it on something else? And that wouldn't be the point. The point is I'm fixing my own pants. So yeah, so these are, I'm going to fix them and then I'm going to wear them this winter. It started snowing here, so I'm very happy about that. Not. But they are, yeah, so that's going to get fixed. I'll probably fix that later today and then put them into my dresser, which I'm very excited about. These were really, it was a really nice knit. It was really well written pattern. There's some short rows in here to give the waistband a better size. And it's a folded over waistband as well. So you knit the waistband and it feels like forever, and then you fold it over and then you continue knitting. And I enjoyed it. It was, I like cables. I liked everything about it. It's a simple cable pattern, so it's very repetitious. Like it's 4-row repeat, and then you throw in decreases wherever it says to throw in a decrease for your size. So these are fabulous. I can't wait for them to be fixed and for me to wear them. The next work in progress I have is a sweater, and in October I decided that I wanted to knit all my kids a sweater because that's usually what I do. And then I thought about trying to get them all a sweater off the needles by Christmas, and I was actually thinking that maybe, no, it was September, that maybe I could have it done by mid-October, so when we took our trip that it would be done and ready to go. But I didn't even get the first one done, so I'm aiming for Christmas now, which is fine. It's fine. All of my girls have grown so much in the last year. They are all in women's sizes now. So my pattern is kind of perfect even for the youngest. This is how far I am on it so far. I have the body finished. This is the Skaha sweater, which is one of my designs. So I have the body finished on the smallest size. And I'm working on the sleeves. Looks like a big tangled mess, but really. It's creativity at its finest. So these are the sleeves. I'm still working on them. They are not done, obviously. But this yarn is fantastic to work with. I'm really, really enjoying it. It is Estelle Yarn's worsted, and the color is Q61227. So it's a number color, but it's like this beautiful like turquoise color, which is really, really pretty. And I'm really enjoying knitting with it. So I picked up a bunch of different yarns, but in Estelle Yarns, and it's really nice to work with. The yarn is very balanced, which I really like. It's got a nice hand to it. It's very squishy and soft, which I know the girls will really appreciate because they're not into anything that's scratchy. So it's coming along, and I just have to sit down and finish it. And one of my needles just fell. I have extra needles stuck to it. So that one is on the needles and it's going very well. The next project I have to show you, I'm still working on my inward wrap that I showed you last week, and I haven't gotten a ton more done. I'm on to the next color in the series, or I got the pink section done, and then I got another yellow section, and now I'm on to a black section. So that's continuing on, and it's just a nice relaxing knit for me. The next thing I have to show you is a scarf. Now this scarf I finished while I was either finishing or frogging things. It is a scarf that I used for teaching brioche, and I didn't finish it for a really long time because I liked to have it on the needles to show people how to knit it. But I haven't taught a class in probably 2 years, I want to say, and I don't really see myself teaching classes into the future. I might, but I'm a very direct communicator, and that doesn't always translate to people who are not. So I'll show you. So this is the scarf. It's called the Basic Scarf, and it's brioche. So it's double-sided, which is super cool. It's really pretty. It was really easy to knit. It has basic technique for doing increases and decreases, which made it really nice for learning. Because before I started teaching the brioche class, I had to actually learn how to knit brioche, which was fine. But this is what I learned on, and it is Sosu brioche basic scarf, and the designer is Susanne Sommer, and it was copyrighted in 2016. It's a free pattern, so you can go and get it online. I contacted her privately because I wanted to use this scarf in the class and give that pattern as the pattern for people to practice with when they got home. And she said, absolutely, you can give out my pattern. That's great. Just make sure you're giving me credit. And absolutely, her pattern was so well written. It has beautiful pictures in the back of the pattern that show you exactly what you need to do. And it's so clear. It is such a beautiful pattern, and brioche is so relaxing. And at that time, brioche was really coming in fashion for knitters to learn that skill, which is amazing because I really enjoy when a new trend, because then everybody is learning a new skill and we're all kind of learning it together, which is really cool. And I think that all of us learning a new skill at the same time is kind of uniting, and it's a really beautiful thing. So yeah, so that's what was happening at that time. Was brioche was big and everybody was learning how to do it. It was so much fun, and I taught a class with another designer, and we had a really great time. I taught two different classes. One of the classes was at a Sorrento knitting retreat, and the class was very large. It was too big for that kind of skill, like a brand new skill to so many people, and the class size was too big. There was 2 of us teachers, but it was too much, I think, for the students and for us in that dynamic of learning a brand new skill. So I taught another class in New Denver, and the class size was perfect. I think there was 6 or 8 people. And I ran the class exactly the same way as I did in Sorrento, but because it was a smaller class size, I was able to spend more one-on-one time with every single person, and there was nothing but great comments about it, which was really good for me because the first one I didn't feel went as well as the second one, so it was really like palate cleansing almost. And by the time the class was done at the end of the day, people were already wanting to sign up for the next steps in brioche with me the following year. But then everything went sideways. So that is what happened. So I don't know if I will actually teach any more classes, but I feel like I can take some of the skills that I learned within that and bring it forward to my channel and have more tutorials available on my channel. And there's been a couple of my tutorials that have done really well on YouTube. And my style has changed a bit. And also I know a lot more about, I don't know like everything about technical knitting, but I know a lot more technical aspects of knitting, which I feel like I could bring forward into the channel a little bit more as well. So that would be something that would come out on Mondays as well, as more tutorial kind of things. So it would just be that, yeah. So the next thing I have to show you is a new design that's coming out. It is called the Circumspect hat, and this is what it looks like. I have one in every size right now. And I have a few edits to do in the pattern, and then it will be released. And by the time you see this, it may be released. Just check below the video and I will have a link below to it if it is released. I'm planning on it. Should everything work out and life allows, it will be available by the time you see this, and the link will be below. And as usual, when I release a pattern, it will be on for 50% off for part of the release, and then it goes back up to its normal price. So this hat is knit out of Cascade 128, and each of the colors is a number, but it's pink and gray. This one is, and it is a really simple knit. It comes in child size all the way up to extra large adult. It has a chart in the pattern, but it's also written. So there's a chart and it's written. Very simple. One of my favorite parts of this hat actually is how I did the decreases, because they're so fancy. You can throw a pom-pom on there if you want, but the top is fancy enough that it's its own special thing, and I really, really love that detail. It's super squishy. It's a bulky weight yarn, so it does knit up fairly quickly. Yeah, it's just super squishy, very comfortable. It's nice and warm because it is color work. It's double width, double thickness in the color work section. And it is so pretty. I actually wear this all the time, and I have a whole bunch of other ones that the kids always wear as well, because they're just so comfortable and easy to throw on, and they go with everything. When you wear jeans and a t-shirt or leggings and a long top, they go with everything you own. It's called the Circumspect hat. And again, it'll be available on Ravelry. I'm still working on my website. I actually have somebody working on my website for me right now. And so all of my patterns are going to be available on my website as well. So if you aren't digging using Ravelry, then you'll be able to get it on my website, which is not up and running yet. It's still in the work in progress stage, but as soon as it's available, I will be here to tell you that it's up, and you can go in and get all of your patterns from my website. So that's exciting. So that's that for knitting content. So if you were just here for the knitting, thank you for joining me. And now we're going to get into some jibber jabber and talk about life, I guess. One thing you may have seen is that I uploaded a video of cleaning my workspace. This was a disaster, and now it looks so much better. It feels so much better. This dresser is full of yarn. And over here is some box cabinet, like, I don't know, they're just like the white box shelves. And it's full of yarn and designs and other things. Works in progress, knitting needles. I have a knitting needle corner that has my grandma's old knitting needles and my mom's old knitting needles. They're all straights, and I probably won't use them, but I have them because of sentimental value. There's still a lot of things in here that I want to get rid of, or downsize, but it's much better than it was. And I've moved my printing station into another space, and it looks much better. Today is Remembrance Day in Canada. So by the time you see this, it was last week was Remembrance Day in Canada on November 11th, which is the day that we honor the people who died during World War I and World War II. So it is, normally we would go to the cenotaph or to the community center, and people would lay wreaths and they would play music. Usually there's a piper and people sing songs and there's a prayer, and it's a really cool event. Any of the veterans that are still alive attend, so you get to see them, meet them, talk to them if you wish. But that isn't happening this year because of the regulations around getting together. There's there's a lot more stricter regulations happening right now because the amount of COVID cases are going up. It is such a weird year, you guys. We didn't do that, but we, as a family, we've acknowledged the part that all of the veterans played, and we usually participate in an active way in honoring the veterans. But this year is just, it's a weird year, guys. It's a weird year, everyone. I've been making some plans to do some things like quilting. I used to quilt a lot more than I do now, and I really enjoy it. It's something that it goes quicker than I think it's gonna go. So I have some really cool fabrics that I'm going to be pulling out and sewing together. I think I'm just going to do like the basic patchwork quilt. The kind that I usually do is called log cabin, is what it's called. So it's got like a red square in the middle and then you build it out, and it's really easy to hide mistakes in that kind. And that is, I've done patchwork quilts and I've done that kind of quilt. So I'm not like a big quilter, but I have done those kinds of quilts and they are so relaxing. I picked up a whole bunch of fabric there's gray, cream, white, and pink. So I'm going to make a quilt for my bedroom out of that fabric, and I have started another quilt out of different fabric that is kind of like outdated. I bought the fabric in like a jelly roll, is what it's called. It's just like 1.5 inch or 2 inch strips. When pink and brown were in fashion together, so I tried to put those together. I have squares that just need to be sewn together now, but I don't know what I'm going to do with it when it's done because it doesn't really go with anything. So I might just donate it once it's sewn together, I think, because somebody's going to love it. It doesn't really go with anything in the house. Well, I think that's it for me for today. Thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed today's episode, please, please, please hit the subscribe button and the thumbs up. Also, if you could just stick around and let the ad at the end play, that would be super helpful. You don't even have to watch it, just let it play. Because that is also a source of income for me right now while I am not at a job. So thanks again, everybody, and I will see you until next time.